Lily Ortiz, and I am with LA Metro. I oversee their senior travel training program called On the Move Riders Program. And we have some participants here in the room, and we'll learn a little bit more about that program and hopefully help you get connected with our existing clubs. Thank you so much to the City of Hawthorne for hosting us. This is such a nice space. And thank you all for coming. So, how many of you have ridden a bus or a train in the last 6 months? Great. How many of you have a senior tap card? Wow. I am preaching to the choir here, it seems like, but hopefully I have some information for you, and it's going to be a great day. Some housekeeping things I have. In the corner, we have Jordan Van. She's waving. She is charged with giving these lovely recyclable Metro bags, provided you can please complete a survey at the end of our presentation, okay? So if you wouldn't mind, before the day is done, please make your way over there, fill out a survey. We're always trying to improve the information that we share with folks, so we'd appreciate your input. Thank you very much. Let's get started. So today we're going to talk about our On the Move Riders program. Am I okay if I stand here? Am I blocking anybody's view? You okay? Am I okay? Okay. We're going to talk about our On the Move Riders program, the benefits of riding public transit. We'll talk about some fun destinations that you can get to using transit. We'll show you how to plan your trips. We'll talk about safety and rider tips, and we'll talk about those tap cards. I always like to also ask, how many of you have never been on a bus or a train? Do we have any? Okay, good. I like to hear from you as well, because I'm trying to convert you to the dark side and come on over to the public transit side. So I'm happy to see you here. So our On the Move Riders program is a program designed to encourage older adults to learn how to use the buses and the trains. And our team goes out and provides these sorts of events like we are hosting here today. We provide educational presentations at senior centers, churches, senior residences. We also provide informational transit tours. So if folks need a little hand-holding and learning how to use the buses and the trains, our team is charged with doing that. And then we also have a really neat component to our program. It's called On the Move Riders Club. On the Move Riders Club is a senior travel training program. It's a peer-to-peer program. So we work with volunteers who plan monthly outings that provide the opportunity for the participants to practice and learn how to use the buses and trains. For those of you who have traveled with our On the Move Riders clubs, can you raise your hand? We have a few people. Oh, okay. So if you're interested in getting connected, you can always ask me, but it's always nice to talk to your friends and see where they've been with the clubs. They take lots of great trips. Hi, Jacob.
That's not.
Oh. Nobody? What happened? It was working? Okay. Well, I'm going to be very descriptive, so I'll try to put on a nice little song and dance here and continue as best I can and hope that we get our issues resolved. So many of our clubs here in the South Bay can be found pretty close. So we've got a club out of the Lawndale, city of Lawndale. There's a couple that volunteers and leads monthly outings there. The Osher Lifelong Learning Institute out of Cal State Dominguez Hills in Carson also provides monthly outings. Yay! We've got an AARP chapter that also takes monthly outings. Yay! We'll have to talk to you more about the exact, because I don't know off the top of my head. So let's talk before you leave. We've got a group from Watts, and they're here today. Yay! And I think that covered. Oh, El Segundo Jocelyn Center also has a club, and they take lots of great trips. So if you're anywhere near these locations, feel free to come and talk to me and let me know how I can connect you. I'd be happy to do that, because these clubs, they take lots of great trips to fun places. They're going to museums, they're going to theaters, they're going to festivals, but they're doing it all on public transportation, with the hope that as people ride more often, they will become more and more comfortable, will become more oriented to what is available to them. These clubs typically start in their origin location. For example, the El Segundo Jocelyn Center starts at the center, and they walk to the nearby bus stop. They take the bus to the Green Line, and then they're on their way. And that's typically how it works. So it really can provide an individual with orientation of their local transit. And since I have bringing up local transit, I want you to welcome Beach City Transit, who is over here to my right. Welcome. We've got our On the Move Riders program over with Jacob and Tatiana. If you have any questions about Metro, they can help you. Next to them is our mobile customer center. If you don't have a senior tap card, you can apply here today for free. They'll take your picture, they'll issue you a temporary card here on the spot, and then within 10 working days, you'll get your card in the mail. So that's a great service that we are providing. We have law enforcement and security and law enforcement with Metro, and that's John in the back. Who else do we have? We have Gardena Transit in the back. Welcome. The ladies from Fame, for individuals who might need assistance purchasing their monthly transportation passes. Fame can help people apply for that service. So it's a very great service. We've got LADOT. Welcome, guys. And of course, Access Services. I don't know if you all know about Access Services. It is a program for folks with disabilities. If you are, or you or someone you know is disabled and needs transportation, Access provides paratransit service. It parallels what regular fixed route transportation does. You must apply, you must be assessed as far as your disability, and provide a doctor's verification of that disability. And Access provides, as I said, a dial-a-ride, curb-to-curb type service where you call and make a reservation. It's a shared ride, so you might have to ride with some folks, and it may take a little while to get to your destination, but it's a very, very important service. So if you or someone you know could benefit from that service, please make sure to visit Stephen from Access Services. Who else just walked in? Our accessibility department is here with Metro in the back. Yay, welcome. So if you have any questions about the accessibility on our buses, trains, platforms, all that good stuff, please make sure to visit them as well. Let's keep going, shall we? Jacob? Oh, here we go. So, if you, back to the issue of our clubs, if you are knowledgeable of riding public transit, we are always looking for folks who would be interested in establishing a club in their community. It could be with your church, it could be with your senior group, it could be with a senior center, a rec center, any sort of place. We're just looking to find folks who are interested in helping others. Our volunteers, can you raise your hand? We have some travel buddies. Wilma in the back. Lori was also a travel buddy. Our travel buddies, as I mentioned, have some knowledge about riding public transportation. They are the ones who plan the trips for our clubs. They share what they know in the group, but they also provide one-on-one help for people who might need a little extra attention. For your work as a travel buddy, Metro issues its volunteers an easy transit pass on a monthly basis. If you're just interested in being a participant, you can always speak with me and I can try to connect you with an existing club. This is our transit, our current rail system. Let's start with what is in the area. So we'll start in the South Bay in that green line. The green line travels from Norwalk to Redondo Beach. Not really Redondo Beach, right? I don't know. I think it's Gardena or something like that. But it's close. Yeah, it's close. Intersecting the green line, we have the blue line, which travels from the south in Long Beach north to downtown Los Angeles. In downtown Los Angeles, you can connect to the Expo line. That's that turquoisey colored line that travels to the far west, ending at downtown Santa Monica. You can also take either the red or the purple line. The red or the purple line are our subway trains. They are in tunnels. They run very fast. The red line travels from Union Station to North Hollywood. The purple line travels from Union Station to Wilshire and Western. Out of Union Station, you can connect to the Gold Line. The Gold Line is that yellow colored line on the top right. The Gold Line travels from East Los Angeles into Union Station, proceeds north into Pasadena, and then turns east and travels into Azusa. There are 2 busways on our map, and we put them on our rail map because they are buses that sort of act like rail cars because they have their own station stops, they have their own dedicated busway. If you drive along the 110 freeway, you may have seen a silver bus in that diamond lane. The silver line travels from San Pedro in the south, goes into downtown, and continues east to El Monte. The orange line is sort of an extension of our red line, which is up in the valley. It travels from North Hollywood to Chatsworth. So if you can get to a rail line, it's a great way to travel. When you are looking for information, so many folks are very adventurous and they say, you know what, there's a bus that runs right outside my door. I'm gonna go see where it goes. I don't recommend that, you know? It's going in the general direction of where I wanna go. I'm just gonna go see. No, don't do that. You're gonna probably get lost. So I always encourage folks to do some homework. So you can either call Metro, 323-GO-METRO, tell them where you're starting and where you want to go, and they will give you a detailed itinerary and tell you where to transfer, how much it will cost. That's an easy way to get information. You can also go online to metro.net or google.com/transit, which is something that I like to use quite often. If you have a smartphone or a tablet or an Android phone or an iPhone, you can download all sorts of free apps onto your telephone. And these apps will allow you to look at maps, find out when the next bus will come. So it can really make traveling a whole lot easier. How many of you have a smartphone? Okay. You may already have an existing app on your phone, like a Google Maps that you may use for driving. Instead of clicking on the driving icon, you can click on the little bus icon, and that will give you your transit information. And you could have it there with you all the time. You don't have to take any notes. Just put the information into your phone, and you'll have directions there. So it's pretty handy. For those of you who would like some hands-on help, using your smartphone, if you'd like us to show you, Jacob or Tatiana over at our table would be happy to help you, sort of learn how to use the apps that are already on your phone. It makes traveling a whole lot easier. Or you can always use, good old-fashioned maps and schedules. Those still exist. And so those are always, those never go out of style, I think. So the next few slides are just sort of walking you through if I wanted to go to a destination and I was going to use my computer at home. I don't know if we can see this very well. This is actually google.com/net or transit. In the upper left hand, there is a box that says search Google Maps. There it is in the red circle. So what you would do is put in your destination. In this case, I want to go to Universal Studios. So I typed in Universal Studios Hollywood, and then I click directions. And then it gives me a little bit of an itinerary, and it gives me two choices. It looks like one takes 1 hour and 15 minutes, and the other takes 2 hours and 1 minute. So it's an easy choice, right? I'm going to choose the shortest one. If I leave at 11:22 a.m. from here, or Harbor Gateway is my starting point. Harbor Gateway is a major transfer point in the area, and it's where I can catch the Silver Line, and I believe that's what it's telling me to do. It also tells me if I wanted, I could get even more information. I could find out how many stops there are along the way. Maybe I'm unfamiliar with a route and I want to know. I want to follow as this bus is moving through town. I can select to have all those bus stops or train stops listed for me so that as I'm riding, I can follow it as it goes. I don't know about you, but I like to do that because it makes me feel better. I'm not the adventurous type. I need to know where I'm going. So it can be very, very helpful. If you'd like to get some more help with using the computer to plan your trips, we are happy to help you do that. Here are some fun destinations that many of our clubs have traveled to. The Expo line is that line that travels to Santa Monica, and there are lots of great stops along the Expo line. The California Science Center is along the Expo line. The Santa Monica Pier is literally, I want to say maybe 2 short blocks from our station. The Natural History Museum is also along our Expo line. How many of you have been to the California Science Center? Yes, great. That's where the Endeavor is. Along the Gold Line, which is the line that travels from East LA to Pasadena, we like to say you can have a real cultural experience along that line. You can visit Olvera Street, which is right across the street from Union Station, Chinatown, Little Tokyo. If you're feeling adventurous, you can go visit El Mercadito, which is in Boyle Heights, one of my favorite destinations. It's similar to an Olvera Street. It's an indoor market, 3 levels, lots of food, lots of music, live mariachis, all of that fun stuff, lots of shopping.
What's it called?
El Mercadito, El Mercado. It's along the Gold Line off of Indiana Station. The Blue Line is also a popular line. You can visit Watts Towers, Aquarium of the Pacific, or Staples Center. I just visited Watts Towers like 2 years ago, and I was pretty impressed with it. It is something to see. If you've never seen it, you want to give it a visit because it really is something to see. And I grew up in LA, and I think I should have taken a field trip there. I don't know what happened. Did I miss that day? But it's definitely a great destination. Along the red and purple line, we've got Universal Studios, Universal City Walk, the Music Center, which is a popular destination. It's that collection of theaters, including the Disney Concert Hall, Grand Park, which is downtown. I don't know if you all are familiar with Grand Park, but it's a beautiful outdoor space right near City Hall. Lots of free sort of activities happen there, including New Year's celebration, 4th of July celebration. But ordinarily during the week, you'll find food trucks or yoga in the park or Tai Chi in the park, all sorts of free things. And I traveled to Grand Park with one of our clubs, and this club in particular was very interested in plants, trees, flowers. And so the park has a whole collection of native flowers and plants that was very interesting. I thought, we're just going to the park? And they said, yeah. And we walked the whole perimeter of the park and learned about the different flowers, trees, bushes that are native to our area. So it was kind of interesting. We're going to talk safety and riding tips next. So for those of you who have ridden, this will be a review, but it's good review. Whenever you're riding buses or trains, you want to make sure to stand back. On our rail platforms, you'll see a big yellow line that tells you to do so. Who's got a pointer? I see you back there. Okay, I'll take it. Also, when you're waiting for a bus, good idea to also stand back. Thanks, Rich. Wayfinding. This is something that's very important to pay attention to whether you're riding buses or trains. On all of our trains, you'll find the head sign tells you the final destination of your bus or train. In this case, this is the end of the line for the Expo line. It's at Santa Monica. It's just pulled in and parked. We also have signs on our platforms, and because this only goes one way, it only says eastbound to downtown LA. The same is true when you're riding the bus. You want to take note of what it says above the main window. It'll tell you where that bus or train is going. When people are first learning, I think that it can be very scary, or even for me sometimes when I'm riding a new route and I don't know where I'm going, I look for these things. I first do my homework, I'm reading the signage, and if I'm riding a bus, I'm talking to the operator and I'm asking him or her, do you go to First and Main Street? Before I get on the bus, I'm asking. And once I'm on, I may be sitting close to the operator and I keep that line of communication. How much longer till First and Main Street? Yeah, I'm one of those. Can you tell me when we're there? But if I did my homework and I printed out the stops along the way, I could follow that way and not be so annoying. But definitely, it's good to pay attention to those things. There is lots of signage. All of our buses and trains are accessible. So if you or someone you're traveling with has a walker or a cane, or is having a bad knee day, as my dad often has, you can always ask to have the ramp deployed. Our buses are also equipped with a kneeling feature that allows the bus to lower itself to the level of the sidewalk so you can safely board. All of our train stations are accessible, our trains are accessible, and again, if you'd like to learn more about that, you can visit our accessibility department here today. And I encourage folks to use these services that are on the bus. Don't be embarrassed. My dad is forever jumping out of the bus when he shouldn't be jumping out of the bus, and I think, oh, Pop, why don't you just go out the front and ask them to lower it? because you don't want to get hurt. So I'm telling you to don't jump out the bus if you don't have to. Use the kneeling feature, use the ramp. It's there for you. You want to practice safe boarding, watch your step, hold on, and take note that there is reserved seating on the buses and trains nearest the doors. If you're riding a bus, you can ask the operator to help you secure a seat if you need it. This is something that is a topic that is heavy on people's minds. I hear from folks all the time because I talk to folks all the time, and they're very concerned or scared of riding on the buses and trains. And I'm not going to say it's paradise on the buses and trains. We live in a scary world, and bad things happen everywhere. It could happen, at your church these days. It's pretty scary. So we always encourage people to just be diligent, to keep an eye out, to be aware. And very, very important for you, if you see something, you must say something. You can call Metro. If you have a smartphone, we have an app that you can put onto your phone that will allow you to report things in a more inconspicuous way. And if you'd like to learn more about those features, you can go talk to John in the back with our law enforcement safety and security. It is a scary, scary thing. But please know that all of the buses and trains are equipped with cameras. The trains have emergency call boxes. So whenever you get on a train, make sure you look for those. They're on either end of the train, and they're usually mounted up against the wall near the doors. They have a button and a speaker. So if you are in a car or you just left the car next door and you want to report something, you can push that button and talk to the operator. Those same call boxes are also on our platforms and allow you to communicate with Metro. So I ride the Gold Line all the time. I was standing next to someone who was playing his lovely music and very loudly. And it's annoying, and even it's more annoying on a Monday morning, when you just want to get to work. It is so annoying, and the gentleman looked very menacing, so I was not going to say anything. It's not worth it to me to get into an argument with someone who may not be well, so I just sort of tuned it out and went about my business. And it's unfortunate, but I don't want to get hurt, and I don't want you to get hurt. I could have gotten off and waited for the next train or moved to another car, but it was crowded, and I didn't want to be late for you all. So I just stood there. But there are times when I just want to wring some necks, honestly. I just want to say, are you kidding me right now? That's horrible music. I don't want to listen to it. I could go crazy on somebody, but I didn't. So it's challenging, and it's challenging for everyone, but not going to stop me from riding. I'm going to continue on with my day and hope that the rest of my day is better. And it is because of you. So you see, it's okay. Again, if you'd like to talk more about safety, please visit John in the back and express your concerns. He may have some better advice, but it's challenging. So be aware. If you hear something on a bus or a train, move away. That's what I always. So it's good to be aware and listening. And if you can, move to another car, wait for the next train, wait for the next bus, and handle it that way. It's best to just avoid the situation and then report it as soon as you can. So there were some folks here, quite a few folks who had their TAP cards. How many of you don't have a TAP card? How many of you don't know what a TAP card is? Okay, so this is going to be helpful, hopefully. Hi, Janice. So this is some general information about Metro, and I encourage you to visit our exhibitors and learn about their reduced fares that they offer for older adults. On Metro, if you are 62 and over, you can apply for your senior TAP card here today, and it will guarantee you the reduced fare of 35 cents during off-peak hours or 75 cents during peak hours. I encourage you not to ride during peak hours. That's when I'm riding and it's horrible. So at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is that sweet spot where it's not so crowded. You'll find a seat, no problem. It's a whole lot more convenient and comfortable. What's great about riding Metro, so Metro operates buses and trains. So all those colors that we talked about, the different rail lines, that's all Metro. And then you'll also see our buses. Our buses are typically orange or red or silver, but they are usually emblazoned with the word Metro. You can't miss it. So if you're riding on any of our buses or any of our trains, we offer free 2-hour transfers. So remember we talked about that transfer point, that Harbor Gateway transfer point. I'm not quite certain what city that is. Does anybody know what city that is in Harbor Gateway? It's right by the Home Depot. Carson? Is it Carson? Or Gardena? Or Artesia. Yes, near the Home Depot, and it's got a huge parking lot. So let's say I went down to Harbor Gateway, left my car there, and I was going to get onto the Silver Line. I must warn you, because the Silver Line is an express bus, it costs more to ride. I believe it's 95 cents one way, which is still a pretty good deal. But if I chose to ride any other bus besides the Silver Line, and it was red or orange, I would board the bus with my TAP card. I would tap and pay 35 cents. My TAP card allows me to load money onto it, kind of like a gift card, and then each time I ride, I tap and I go. So I board at Harbor Gateway, I tap. I pay 35 cents because I'm riding a local bus. It takes me to the Blue Line. The Blue Line is also part of Metro. I tap there. I don't get charged. It comes up as a transfer. So I can make as many transfers as I want within that 2-hour period, but I only pay that one time. So I can go from Harbor Gateway to Santa Monica for 35 cents. I could go from Harbor Gateway to Pasadena or Azusa for 35 cents. I may have to make several transfers along the way, but again, I only pay for that first time I tap, okay? So keep that in mind. We also offer day passes, but day passes don't always make sense. If I'm going from A to B, if I'm going straight through, I pay 35 cents to go, 35 cents to come. Why am I gonna pay $2.50 for a day pass, right? So you decide. Maybe I'm gonna take the Silver Line and I may take some other buses along the way. Maybe a day pass might make sense when you're riding on the Silver Line, because that's the bus that costs a little more money, 95 cents to go. And I think it costs a little more if you're riding during off-peak hours. So just keep that in mind and think about how much it's going to cost. Is it worth it for me to get a day pass for $2.50, or can I make it all on 35 cents going and coming? So here today, I mentioned our mobile customer center is here to process senior TAP applications. So before the day is done here today, fill out an application, visit the ladies. They'll take your picture here today. If you have a picture, I saw someone with an application and a picture, that's fine too. But if you don't have a picture, they'll take your picture here today. They'll issue you a temporary card, and then within 10 working days, you'll receive your card in the mail. So we try to make that You've got your temporary card, or maybe your permanent card has come in the mail. What do I do now? Because it's basically useless until you load something onto it. You can use the vending machines at our rail stations to load money onto your card. You can visit one of the local retail locations and load money. I believe here they load funds onto your tap card. No, Bill? Okay. Gardena Transit I know does, right?
Across the street.
Across the street, is it a check cashing place?
Yep.
Okay, across the street there's a check cashing place. So I always tell folks, call 1-866-TAP-TO-GO and tell them you're looking for a retail location near you, and give them your zip code, and they'll tell you how to load, where you can go to load your card. And it might be a check cashing place, it might be your local Ralph's. If you have a computer, you can go online to taptogo.net and load money onto your card that way. Okay, so several different ways to load money onto your card. Here's where it can get a little confusing for folks. There's two different things that you can load onto your tap card. We'll talk about the one on the left. Stored value. Keep that in your memory bank. Stored value is best for people who maybe don't ride very often. A lot of our club members who travel with our clubs, they usually load a small amount of stored value on their card. This money, again, could be $5, $10. Each time they board a bus or a train, they tap, and the fare box or the validator will deduct money from that stored value that's loaded on their card. The great thing about this is that I can use that stored value to purchase a day pass, transfer, all sorts of things that I can then load onto my card. So keep that in mind, stored value. If you're not riding very often, you're sort of still learning, a small amount of money is great. The other thing you can load are these passes or products. For example, Metro products or Beach City products. All of the different agencies typically sell different types of products. If somebody rode every single day, didn't have a car, a monthly pass or a monthly product would be best for them. It would be most economical. It costs $20 to buy a Metro 30-day pass. I load that on my card and I can ride Metro unlimited for those 30 days, but it will expire. These products can be purchased at any time, but they are not valid until I tap at a fare box or a validator. The bad thing about these products is that they're only good on the agency that you purchase them from. So if I bought a Metro 30-day pass, I couldn't use that on a Beach Cities bus. I couldn't use that on a G-Trans bus or a Dash bus. So keep that in mind. But with my stored value, that little cash purse of money, I can use that on all the buses that serve through LA County, and there are 24. I could go to G-Trans and tap, and the fare box will recognize that I am a senior and only deduct the appropriate amount. I could go to Big Blue Bus in Santa Monica, and I don't have to worry, do I have enough money? Do I have enough change? I just tap and I go. Does that make sense? Any questions about stored value versus these Metro passes or products? Because this is where it can get a little confusing for folks. They think, I don't need a tap card. I don't even ride that often.
So the beach cities are not here in this list?
But they do accept tap. I just didn't have enough room on my slide for everybody. There's 24 of them. Ma'am, hold on. Ma'am? Yes. So if you're going from the silver line to the red line, I would board at the silver line, and remember I said it costs a little more money, 95 cents. I would tap and the money would be deducted. When I transfer to the red line, I would tap, but because it's also Metro and Metro offers free 2-hour transfers, it wouldn't deduct any money. It would come up as a transfer.
And then on the return, the same thing?
On the return, it would be a little different because you'd board the red line first, tap, pay 35 cents. I don't believe that you may have to pay the difference because the silver line is a little more expensive. It will deduct more money to make up for that. She had a question up here, hold on.
What's AVTA?
Antelope Valley Transit Authority, Lancaster, Palmdale.
Okay, and then you said there's others.
Yes, and we have a list right over at our table. It shows you every single one, so make sure you grab one. Jacob is holding it up right now. Was there a question? Yes, ma'am.
Once you put money, I've used it before, once you put money on the tap card, does it expire?
If you are loading stored value on your card, it should not expire. Now, on your card, and when you receive your card, you will get some information from TAP. And it says that if after 18 months of inactivity, they start to deduct like $1 each month. So 18 months is a long time. So hopefully you're not off for that long. So that's why I tell folks, don't put a lot of money, $5. You know, if you lose $5, it doesn't hurt so bad. When you use $20 or $50, that hurts. So don't put too much money.
After 18 months?
18 months of inactivity.
Yeah, I was wondering why I lost my money. It was on there.
Yeah, don't put too much money. $5.
But they were kind enough to return it.
Okay.
But I have one little problem I have to call in.
Okay. Yes, if you ever have any problems with your TAP card, please call TAP. 1-866-TAP to go. A lot of folks will call me and they'll say, Lily, something happened to the money on my card. Can you tell me? And I say I can't because I don't have access to that. So always call TAP when you have issues with TAP. Any other questions about stored value versus, yes ma'am?
The store value of that car. So if you're in a train, you want to buy a day pass. How to activate?
How do you activate a day pass?
If a store value that car.
Ooh, you're getting fancy on me. You can do it. It is possible. Let me see if I have some slides here to explain what she's saying. So here I am at the vending machines, okay? Let's say I have stored value on my card and I want to buy a day pass with that money. I would reload tap card and hit the letter F. I would tap my card at the target. And then I would choose Metro Pass. And then I would select a day pass. I don't have the slide for that, but I would select the day pass for $2.50. And then when it asked for my money, I would take my tap card with money and tap it, and it would deduct the money from my stored value. If you'd like to hear that again, I'd be happy to explain it to you after. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Any other questions about stored value versus, no, that's not what I wanted. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
A torrent for a senior is 25 cents, but they do not issue a transfer. So it wouldn't work with my tap card to get a transfer onto a Metro line, is that correct?
Did we invite Torrance here today? Is Torrance here today? I thought we invited Torrance here today. We were expecting Torrance, and I would hope that they would be able to answer your question. So you're saying that Torrance Transit does not offer a paper transfer, is that correct? Is that what you're saying? So
For a senior.
For a senior. So if that is the case, and I'm not certain, but you would pay your Torrance fare, whatever it is, 25 cents, And then when you boarded a metro or any other bus, you would have to pay their fare as well.
So you wouldn't be able to use the tap then in that case.
You could use your tap. You could use your tap on Torrance, tap, pay, but you'd also have to pay full fare when you get on the next one and not use a transfer if they don't offer that. Any other questions about stored value? Yes, sir.
They offer transfer, but it costs more than the fare. It's 40 cents.
They offer a transfer, but it costs more than the fare. Then I'm going to pay the fare and not the transfer, right?
It costs 40 cents.
Okay.
Transfer costs 40 cents.
That doesn't make sense, does it? Okay.
I'm from Torrance.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, question.
That's why I have to walk from Crenshaw to here. I walk.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm confused, so what is the difference between the stored value and the metro?
So, stored value is just a little bit of money, $5, $10. It doesn't expire. It can be used on all the transit agencies that accept TAP, and there are 24. Okay, so you are able to capitalize on all of the discounts using that stored value. These other products are only good on the agency that you purchased them from. So a Metro 30-day pass, only good on Metro. It expires. In 30 days it will expire.
So Lily, what you're saying is that it's best to use the stored value.
It depends. If I want to ride all of these different agencies, and I don't ride very often, but I'm going to go explore, stored value is the best. If I ride very often, and I only ride Metro or G-Trans or Dash, then maybe I buy a monthly product for them, and that would be a better value. So you have to sort of think about how you want to travel. If you don't travel very much, but you want the option to use it on everything, stored value is always best.
For 18 months.
That's a long time though, and you're only putting $5, right?
No, I.
No, don't put anything more than $5. Yes, yeah, it's always recommend. I always tell folks. Yes, ma'am.
So, on the stored value, can you use the metro?
You can use it on all the agencies that serve LA County. And we have a whole list over at our table, so make sure you grab that, okay? All of them. All of them that we've discussed. All the trains, all the different colors, yes. Any other questions about stored value versus... Feel free to come and ask me. I'd be happy to help. Quickly, when you're tapping on a bus, you may find these mobile validators. They're sort of propped up near the door, and they have the big blue circle, and you just tap your card on the circle. And it doesn't matter which side. People always ask, is it this side or is it this side? Or this side or this? It doesn't matter. Because the chip is inside your card. If you tap, it's going to read it. Okay?
Scan.
Pardon?
It's like a scan.
Yes, it's like a scan, so you just hold it there. You don't want to tap too short. You don't want to tap too long. Just right. On the bus, the fare box is incorporated, or the tap target is incorporated into our fare box. And again, you just hold it there. Yes, sir, in the back.
Is it possible to tap the card like twice?
No, it's not possible. Because we get this question a lot because people think, oh, I've got a monthly pass, I'm going to invite my friend, and we're going to tap away. No. So you can only tap once, and each person has to have their own tap card. So you tap once, and if you're at our rail stations, you may find turnstiles or standalone validators. So when you tap at those turnstiles, they're locked. And when you tap, it unlocks it. If I try to tap again, it will not unlock. Okay, so you can only tap once. When you're riding our rail system, I mentioned the turnstiles. You tap on the blue target, it unlocks the turnstile. A lot of the stations have these standalone validators. They're about waist high. You look for the big blue circle and you tap. Something to take note of, if you're at one of our subway stations, you'll find these turnstiles. They also have a big screen next to them. And it will turn green and say enter when you've paid. And it will show how much was deducted. It will show if it's a transfer, and it will also show the remaining balance on your tap card. That's another question that folks always have. How do I keep track of the money on my card? I put $5 in 2 months ago, but I don't know how much I have left. If you're near one of these turnstiles, you can pay attention to those screens. If you're near one of our rail stations, you can use the vending machines to check your tap card balance. Woo, if you'll notice the letter H, tap card balance. So I just push the letter H and I read the screen and it will tell me to tap my card on the target. And then on the screen, I'll see how much money I have. Do I have any passes? You can always call tap2go.net or visit their website and sort of see what you have on your card. So there's different ways to keep track of that.
Is there a way to contact them on the machine?
Can I contact TAP while I'm at the machine? Probably not, because sometimes takes a little while for you to get connected. Are you having issues at the machines?
No, if you don't have a phone to call them.
Oh, no, unfortunately, you have to have a phone to call them. Okay? Yes, ma'am?
Can you reload your money on it at those machines?
Yes, I will show you right now. Okay, so let's say you've received your card in the mail and you're at the rail station or you're at the Silver Line Harbor Gateway station and you want to put some money on your card. You're going to push the letter F to reload because you've got a card. If you were traveling with someone who didn't have a card, look at this here. I could buy a regular general fare tap card for $1. But let's stick to the plan, okay? Let's say you have your senior tap card. I'm going to reload. I hit the letter F. I tap. And on the screen, it walks you through. So just read the screen, take your time. My biggest tip, when you're at the vending machines, have your card in your hand, have the money or the debit card that you're going to use in your hand. A lot of folks will come up to the machine and they're like stressed out already, right? And they're like, oh God, I have to do this, okay. They start pushing buttons and they're like, oh, I need my card. They have to dig to find their card. Oh my God, I need money. And they have to dig, and then the machine starts beeping at them and they get very nervous and they're like, oh, I hate these machines. I never, and then they call me and they say, gosh darn, those machines drive me crazy. So have your card, have your money handy, okay? In your hand, ready to load. I tap, I'm following the instructions. Remember, we talked about Metro Pass versus stored value, okay? So always look for that. I'm gonna hit the letter F, and then it will give me a menu of different options. $5, $10, $20. I choose it. I slide my money into the slot, or I use my debit card to load. Okay? Pretty easy, right? Right?
Can you use a credit card?
You can use a credit card. Yes?
I'm gonna ask one more question.
Sure.
When you, going back to that screen, like say you have a rider that doesn't have a tap card, you said that they can buy one there? Okay.
So this is a general fare tap card. With a general fare tap card, I pay $1.75. When I apply for my senior tap card, then I get my reduced fare, right? Does that make sense? Yes.
Right here, we're gonna have our picture taken and it'll be on our card.
And you will have a senior tap card.
But how about if they wanna buy it on the machine?
Well, it will be a general fare tap card, and you pay full price. It's not a special tap card like the one you're going to get today.
Where could, other than this here, where could this person get a senior?
Where can a person apply for a senior tap card if they aren't here today? They could go online, they could call, they could visit one of our customer centers. G-Trans, do you all, Gardena Transit processes applications for senior tap cards. I would always call TAP to see if there are other locations that can process my application.
Good.
Okay? Any other questions about the machines? Yes, ma'am? The machine does recognize, so the question is, does the machine recognize who is senior and who is not? Yes, it's that smart. As soon as you tap, it only brings up the senior choices. If I try to get some senior choices with my general card, I can do that, but I don't want to confuse anybody and talk about it. If you'd like to learn, please come and talk to me. Does anybody have any other questions? Yes.
To load my card, what I do, when I go to Harbor Gateway Station, I ask one of the officers there, they help me with loading my card.
Oh, but now you don't have to do that. You can do it yourself. Yes. That's why I'm here, to help you learn how to do it. You want to be totally independent. Let's see, I already talked about this. I think that's it. Oh, yeah. Any other questions?
Are they gonna be able to process everybody today?
Yes, they are going to be able to process everybody today. Any other questions? I'm sorry, I don't have lunch. But remember, I have those surveys in the back. Make sure that you fill out a survey. Thank you so much for coming. If you have questions, please visit our exhibitors.